Welcome back to practical side of Modal Verbs. The order of this course is based on simple exercises to a more difficult ones. So let's get started. The first one, you are going to use can't or can, and the other one must or mustn't. Because the video here is based on practical side of the course, I recommend in each exercise to pause the video, answer in the whole exercises, then play it again. Thank you. Let's get started for the first one. She is a small baby. She ate meat, but she drank milk. So for example, if we have a small baby, is going to eat, let's say, bread, meat, something that is hard, or he is just going to drink. So of course he's gonna drink. First one, she can't eat meat, but she can drink milk. That dress is not expensive. Are you going to buy it or no? Of course you are going to buy it. I can buy it. Cat climb up a tree, but a dog. So who can climb a tree? Is it a dog or a cat? Of course, it's a cat. A cat can climb up a tree, but a dog cannot. I'm very tired today. I cannot clean my room. Number 5. John is very short. He can't play basketball very well. Why? Because basketball requires the person to be tall. That's good. We are very hungry, so we can eat a lot of sandwiches. Number 7, he is very fat. He cannot run very fast. For example, if you are very fat, can you run faster or no? Of course you can't. So he cannot run very fast. We sleep in bedroom, but we sleep in bathroom. So what is the place that we can sleep? Is it the bathroom or the bedroom? The first one, we can sleep in the bedroom, but we cannot sleep in the bathroom because bathroom is only for taking shower. So let's go to the other one, using must or mustn't in the following exercise. It's called you leave without your jacket. If the weather is cold, can you leave without a jacket? Of course you can't. That's why your mother, or let's say someone has an authority over you, so he would say to you, it's called you mustn't leave without your jacket. You eat fruit and vegetable to stay healthy. So someone would advise you, or let's say he will give you a strong advice. He would tell you, you must eat fruit and vegetable to stay healthy. I go to the post office, I have a letter to send. I must go to the post office, I have a letter to send. You mustn't speak rudely to your parents. So this is prohibition. We use mustn't to prevent an action not to happen, right? So you park here, it's illegal. If something illegal, so we should use prohibition. It's good. You mustn't park here. It's illegal. We hurry or we will miss the bus. In order not to miss the bus, we should hurry. That's why we use we must hurry or we will miss the bus. Let's move to the other one. Fill in the blank with can, can't, or must, or mustn't. We are going to use this exercise based on first ones. First one, she is ill, so we say she must see a doctor as a strong advice, or cannot, or what? So it's must. She must see the doctor. It's raining heavily. You must take your umbrella. We not pick flowers in park. So this is a prohibition. We say we mustn't pick the flowers in the park. Mike is 9 months old. This is ability, I think, because someone who is in this age, he cannot eat nuts. So we say he cannot eat nuts. I'm very tall, so I can play basketball. That's good. I am sorry, but we not come to your party tomorrow. Here we have tomorrow. This is ability in the future. And to use ability in the future, we have only one possibility, which is can. So, but here we have not. We say, we cannot come to your party tomorrow. That's great. You are speaking very quietly. I cannot understand you. Can I use your phone? This is here, it's like a permission. You are going to take permission from someone to take his phone or her phone. That's why we should use can. Can I use your phone? We go to the bank today. We haven't got any money. This is, let's say, an obligation that comes from the speaker. So, as we said, when we have an obligation that comes from the speaker, we use must. That's why we must go to the bank today. We haven't got any money. My hands are dirty. Same goes with this one. So it's an obligation that goes with the same speaker. I must wash them. It's late. I must go now. You stop at red traffic light. So here, is it a prohibition or what? If it is a prohibition, shall we stop at the red traffic light or no? So we should stop. That's why we should say, you must stop at a red traffic light. This is a rule or a law that must be obeyed. You not speed in the city. Here it's also a prohibition. You mustn't speed in the city. Great. Tourists take their passport when they go abroad. So for the tourists, should they take their passport with them or no? Of course they should. They must take their passport when they go abroad. Footballers not touch the ball with their hands. So footballers are not allowed to touch the ball with their hands. That's why we use mustn't. So footballer mustn't touch the ball with their hands. Great. Let's move to the other one. Practice use must, mustn't, have to, or don't have to. Here I remind you of the rules or the difference between must and have to. So must, as I said, is the obligation that comes from the speaker himself or herself. But have to is an obligation that comes outside of the speaker. Okay? So I can stay in bed tomorrow morning because this is an obligation that comes from the speaker or outside. Just analyze the first one. I can stay in bed tomorrow morning because this comes from outside. Because if he has a work, he cannot stay at bed. But here, because he doesn't have any work, you should say, I don't have to work. Whatever you do, you touch that switch, it's very dangerous. So this is an obligation from someone, okay? And when we have an obligation that over someone, we should use must, okay? So whatever you do, you mustn't touch that switch. It's very dangerous. You forget what I told you. It's very important. So here you are advising someone not to forget something. Okay? And here you are going to use an obligation with a must. So you mustn't forget what I told you. It's very important. We leave yet. We have got plenty of time. So here we have, let's say, an obligation that comes from the speakers themselves. So they should say, we don't have to leave yet. We have got plenty of time. Anna was feeling ill last night. She left the party early. So here we have was feeling ill last night. This is an obligation that happens in the past. And even an obligation that happens in the past with a must, we change it to had to. That's why we see here, she had to leave the party early. I go to the bank yesterday to get some money. So here, as I said, because we have yesterday, we should use obligation in the past. I had to go to the bank yesterday to get some money. Here, if we take a look at the exercise number 7 and 8, we will find there are similarity in terms of obligation, but they are quite different of the obligation either comes from the speaker himself or herself or outside. So, for example, let's say the windows are very dirty. I must clean them. The windows aren't dirty. You don't have to clean them. Of course, this is simple as it is. Just we need to make a lot of practice in order to develop a sense of correction. Okay? So we arrived home very late last night. We wait half an hour for a taxi. Let's say whenever we have an obligation in the past, we certainly don't think a lot. We should use had to. We had to wait half an hour for a taxi. These cakes are very nice. You have one. So someone would impose an authority over you. So he would say, you must have one. We take an umbrella, it's not going to rain. We don't have to take an umbrella, it's not going to rain. This is a secret you mustn't tell anybody. So number 13, it's easy, it's obvious. So we say you don't have to buy a newspaper, you can have mine. Number 14, this train doesn't go to London, you change at Brussels. So here we have a kind of strong advice, we should use must. You must change at Brussels. In many countries, men do military service. So here, either we say have to or mustn't. So because it's a duty for a person and he must do it, we should say man must do military service. So number 16, Sarah is a nurse. Sometimes she work at weekends. Let's imagine we have a nurse and some bad circumstance or unexpected thing can happen in her work. And someone may call her during weekends. This is an obligation that comes from her or from the outsider. Of course, it's outsider. That's why we should use she has to work at weekends. Let's move to the other one. Use not, have to, must not, and can. I couldn't. Number 1. George has traveled a lot. He speak 4 languages. So this is kind of ability. So we should use he can speak 4 languages. I cannot sing now, but I sing very well when I was a child. This is also ability, but when we have when I was a child, this is ability in the past. I couldn't sing very well when I was a child. Number 3, she will stay in bed till 10 o'clock this morning because she go to work. Here also it's an obligation, and the obligation comes from the outside. And if we study the first sentence, we are going to understand that the second one is going to be in negative. And when we have she, of course, we are going to say doesn't. That's why we say she doesn't have to go to work. Many students in Turkey wear uniform when they go to school. Here it's kind of law, it's an obligation that comes as a kind of necessity, alright? So we say many students in Turkey must wear uniform when they go to school. I am sorry I couldn't come yesterday. It's yesterday, of course, as I said. I had to work late. You have been coughing a lot recently. You smoke so much. This is a kind of a strong advice. We say you mustn't smoke so much. Number 7, you have a bad headache, so you go to bed early. This is kind of strong advice. That's why we say you must go to bed early. 8, I can't swim very far these days, but 10 years ago I swam from one side of the lake to the other. Here is an ability in the past. We should say I could swim from one side of the lake to the other. You say the sea from our bedroom window. This is an ability, and ability that happens in the present. So you say you can see the sea from our bedroom window. Number 10, it's permitted to speak Turkish during the lesson. So you speak Turkish. If something isn't allowed, permitted is the synonym of allowed. So it's like someone as a teacher give an obligation to be respected and obeyed when he told you you mustn't speak Turkish. Here, let's move to the other one. You park in the street, it's not permitted. Here it's like it's not allowed, and if we don't have something it's not allowed, we should use mustn't. You mustn't park in that street, it's not permitted. Look at George, he is working very well, he BL. This sentence is kind of deduction. If we have someone who is working right now in front of us, we say he mustn't BL, okay? This is a kind of assumption and deduction, right? There is someone at the door. I'm expecting Paul, it be Paul. Here also it's assumption and we say he must be Paul. Ali's car is there. He be there. Of course, we have Ali's car, but we are not sure. Maybe he could be Ali or not. But when we are not sure, in this case, we say he can be there. That baby is asleep. You shout. This is an obligation. It's to prevent someone not to do something. He is not allowed to shout. So we say he mustn't shout. You have got plenty of time. You hurry. Here we can have two choices to put there. Either we say you don't have to hurry or you needn't hurry. Okay? So do you want to wait for you? No, it's okay. You don't have to wait. I can't get any answer from my phone. It be out of order. So here it's kind of assumption and a logical one. So for example, if we have someone or even me try to answer my phone and doesn't answer it, so we should say it must be out of order. And stay in bed this morning because she go to work. Here this sentence express a lack of necessity. That's why we see she doesn't have to go to work. Tom has just given me a letter to post. I forget to post it. So here it's an obligation that comes from the speaker. Even Tom, who gives him these letters, he should tell himself he mustn't forget to post it. Okay? Here, complete the following conversation using the given function of modal verbs. A mysterious letter has arrived for Tom by special delivery. He is nervous about opening it. He is with Jill, his wife. And first one we have permission. I have a look at it. So Jill, his wife, should ask for permission for Tom to give her a letter by saying, can I have a look at it? Tom, I think who is from. This is a negative ability. Some of you would say, I can't think who it is from. But this sentence could be hard to express in this way. So we say, I am not able to think who it's from. Jill, it's be important assumption. So we can make an assumption with must and can, but the one that is suitable here is must. It must be important. You read the postmark ability. It's like someone would say, can you read the postmark? It be from the taxman. Probability. We have two modal verbs of probability. We have may and might. Here, the one that is suitable for this context, it's may. It may be from taxman because it gives us maybe 15% of possibility. Okay, so no, it be from him. He always uses special envelope, negative assumption. So we say it mustn't be from him. He always uses a special envelope. So it is be from your bank manager, possibility with 40%. And we have two model of possibility. We have can and could. And the better one here is Could. It could be from your bank manager. So you open it. Here, this is the last exercise in this video. So you are required to make a combination with the use of used to and try to focus on the action that happens in the past. So, for example, the first one, when she was a child, she lived in a small village. This is the action that happens in the past, and now she doesn't live in a small village anymore. We say, she used to live in a small village when she was a child. Second, when he was a young man, he enjoyed playing basketball. So we say, he used to enjoy playing basketball when he was a young man. In ancient Rome, wall paintings were a popular form of advertising. Wall painting used to be a popular form of advertising before she learned to read. Her parents read stories to her. Her parents used to read stories to her before she learned to read. Before he came to Meknes, life was cheaper in Morocco. So we say life used to be cheaper in Morocco before he came to Meknes. James spoke German at school, but he has now forgotten. James used to speak German, but he has now forgotten. Susan was a nurse before she got married and raised a family. So we say, Susan used to be a nurse before she got married and raised a family. Number 8. Sally played tennis when abroad, but she prefers swimming now. Sally used to play tennis when abroad, but she prefers swimming now. Before they bought their house, they lived in an apartment. So we see she used to live in an apartment before they bought their house. While she was going to university, she worked in a doctor's office. She used to work in doctor's office while she was going to university. Before he married his second wife, he was quite happy. He used to be quite happy before he married his second wife. Maybe because he has some problems and now he is sad. Okay? Here is the end of this course. We hope you take this rewarding journey of learning different forms and functions of modal verbs. Please, if you have any commentary, write it down in the commentary below and we will be glad to answer it. Thank you so much.